Hi. Ever left a meeting feeling like nothing got done? In this tutorial video, we'll fix that. So here we'll explore three simple frameworks to transform your meetings. So I'm sure you are very familiar with the first one, which is PREP. So we can call this PrEP as well. And the next one is RIDE, RIDE. And then the last one, which will be very useful for organizing a meeting in a very effective way, which is MAET, or you can simply read it as MATE. So I'm sure you may ask why these SOPs, why these standard operation procedures matter. Because when we have meetings without SOPs, we may have poorly run meetings. And poorly run meetings waste time, muddy priorities, meaning that the priorities are lost. We don't know whether which one is more important or which point is less important. And eventually, poor meetings will frustrate teams. Teams don't know what to do after the meeting. So we have a saying that we have meetings about meetings. So it does not end. So what should we do? With the SOPs that I am introducing to you in this video, they will help tackle the poor meetings by structuring how you think and structuring how you want to persuade. So you can see like facilitating persuasion, and it will also affect how you execute your plans more effectively. So we'll see them in action one by one. So here's a quick recap of PrEP, the PrEP framework. So first of all, we have point, presenting ideas with clarity. So we start with your point. And then we back it, we back the point, we support the point with a reason, suggesting why the point is valid, why you have this idea. And then you expound your points, your ideas with data or examples. So remember what I said in the class. By expounding, you either elaborate a point with more details, you add explanations, or you simply add examples to support your points. And then wrap up your point with the point to conclude. And of course, this final concluding point should point to how your idea can benefit the group, can further contribute to the company, for example. And here we'll have an example from Alex, who is a team member of a meeting. So the team is currently brainstorming to improve client retention, to keep clients. Okay, so let's see how Alex used PrEP to propose monthly client surveys. So allow me to quickly read through it with you. So Alex says, I recommend we implement a monthly client feedback survey. Our retention rates dropped 15% last quarter, and we are not getting enough actionable insights from annual surveys. For example, Company X saw a 30% of retention boost after switching to monthly surveys. So quick automated tools like SurveyMonkey could let us identify issues in real time, like delayed response times, and fix them before clients leave. So monthly feedback loops could help us proactively address client concerns and build loyalty. So you can see the very first line, the very first sentence is Alex's point, which is his recommendation, what the team can do. Okay, and starting from our intention, okay, to annual surveys in the fifth line is the reason. Okay, so he suggested why there is a need to carry out a different kind of survey because the team's retention rates have dropped this many percent. Okay, and then you can see the signal, for example, right, showing that Alex elaborated his point and the reason. Okay, why he was suggesting implementing a monthly client feedback survey. And you can see he further gave more details about uh, the positive effects of doing monthly surveys, like using quick automated tools. And then he didn't just leave the examples and reasons there. And he finally wrapped up by saying, oh, so monthly feedback surveys or the loops, what they can do, helping the team to address the concerns of clients and, of course, to keep the customers in the company, okay, sticking with the brand. So next one is a new one. So it's RIDE. So we use this framework to persuade skeptics, the ones who challenges your ideas. Okay, so you will want to address risk. Okay, so R stands for risk, and I stands for interest. So you also have to spark interest. After talking about risk, you have to show what's in it for the people who's are going to adopt your suggestion. And then you want to highlight differences before ending your persuasion by explaining the effects. Perhaps you can talk about the long-term benefits of having your idea or using your suggestion, or you may want to talk about the downside, the potential risks. Okay, so you can balance. You don't have to, keep talking about the positive things about your idea. So you may want to look at the same idea on the other side. Okay, so in the following, we have an example that's going to, entirely talking about the bright side of the idea. So here's how Jordan pitched a tech upgrade, a technical update, by framing the why. This framework, the RIDE framework, turns resistance into buy-in. So let's see what he says. So Jordan says, if we stick with our outdated VPN, security breaches could rise. So IT flagged 3 near misses last month. So upgrading a cloud-based system like AWS could cut down time by 40%, boosting productivity. Unlike the current setup, cloud systems offer scalable storage and AI-driven threat detection. So this would reduce IT costs long-term and position us as a tech-savvy employer to attract top talent. Okay, so you can see, maybe you can even start your persuasion by putting forward a point first. So you can say, we can adopt a cloud-based system to reduce any security risks, right? And then you start with the risk. If we stick with our outdated VPN, so you are providing a condition, a situation that things go awry, things going wrong. And then you pique the interest of the listener by talking about how introducing or upgrading your system, your cloud-based system by joining AWS, subscribing to AWS. So you can see Jordan talks about the benefits. It could cut down time, it could boost productivity as a result. And then you can, compare the differences between the outdated VPN and the new cloud-based system. So you can let the listener tell the differences. And finally, you can wrap up your arguments, you wrap up your presentation by talking about the long-term effects, like positioning the IT group or IT company as a tech-savvy employer to attract top talent, right? Finally, MAET. So we can master the meeting cycle by adopting this framework, the MATE framework. This is especially important if you are the chairperson of the meeting, as you have to coordinate the meeting. right? So you need to set clear objectives at the very beginning, and you need to walk through the agenda of your meeting with your group members, with your team members. And then you also have to facilitate the meeting by letting others speak, which is a very important role for team members or team heads, team leader. And you may also want to end your meeting with takeaways and action items. And this is very important as an overarching structure of the meeting. So in the class, we talked about the three phases, okay, the opening phases, the debating phase, and the closing phase. And you can see the meeting objectives and agenda will be in the opening phase. And discussing the agenda items with the effective facilitation, allocating time for your team members to speak would be in the debating phase, the middle phase. And then you end the meeting by, talking about the takeaways, summarizing the meeting content, and, allocating tasks, delegating tasks to your team members. So here we can see the lady called Taylor's her sales meeting, and see how this meeting shows MAET and action. Okay, so here are the first two stages. Here are the first two moves. So, all right, team, let's get started. Okay, so this is how we greet everyone and to kickstart the meeting. By the end of this hour, our goal is to lock in Q4 sales target and finalize regional budgets. Sounds good? Okay, so the meeting objectives is clear and the goal, okay, by the end of the hour. So maybe it's a longer meeting, for example, like 2 hours, and the target is very clear. So we are going to discuss this within an hour. Okay, so Taylor went on. So here's how we'll tackle this. First up, a 10-minute lightning round on Q3. So what rocked, what flopped. Then we'll spend 20 minutes pressure testing Q4 projections. So bring your toughest questions. After that, the main event, 25 minutes to hash out budget splits, so no region left behind. And then we'll close with 5 minutes to assign non-negotiable next steps. Everyone up on board? So let's dive in, right? So before you say, shall we start? You can talk about what you're going to discuss with your group members by listing out the agenda items, right? So here we have 4 items: discussing, brainstorming, asking questions, budgeting, and then you assign tasks for your team members. So you don't have to only say like, shall we start or let's start. So we have other, varieties. We have other alternatives. Let's say, let's dive in, everyone on board. So to keep everybody there present by asking them to check in, for example. Okay, so the meeting goes on. Taylor says in the discussion, as she noticed Sam raising a hand, so she said, hold on a second. So before we jump to projections, Sam, I saw your note about the Midwest data gap. Can you walk us through your concerns first? Okay, so don't worry, we won't get logistics bury us in the cornfields. So it's like, you know, asking Sam to take the floor, take the turn, because he raises his hand, and maybe Sam, as a team member, will show some concern about his task. And another very important role as a team meeting facilitator is to make sure the team meeting is in a relaxed manner, although it has to be serious, it has to be professional, but at times you have to diffuse the tension, okay, release the tension occurring inside the meeting. Okay, so at the end of the meeting, Taylor stood up, okay, trying to energize the group. So she said, before the break, Maria, you're owning updated projections by Friday. So delegating tasks. No mercy for fake numbers, right? Very strict. Alex, the budget document goes out to all regions by EOD, end of day today. So tag me if roadblocks pop up. So now you can see um, Taylor allocate tasks to different people by calling them out. Okay, calling their names, calling out their names. So make sure you do the same. So when you are discussing or when you are delegating tasks, the action items, you call out names to make sure they are aware that what they are responsible for. Okay, so closing the meeting, Taylor said, fantastic focus today, team. This is exactly how we avoid meetings about meetings. Let's keep this momentum. Okay, so this is a very positive, looking very optimistic kind of meeting that everyone is looking forward to. Okay, with a very clear structure, with no nonsense, that kind of discussion going on, with the meeting chairperson, the team leader, organizing the meeting and allocating time for everyone to speak, fairly. So next time when you're in a meeting, so you use prep. So prep your ideas, prepare your ideas, write your arguments, and mate your goals. So you'll communicate clearly, lead decisively, and most importantly, get stuff done. So 3 keywords: logical, persuasive, effective. Go own that meeting.